Hello everyone, this is Isabella from Angel Chantress Love. Today we are releasing the twin flame false twin dynamic. There's a lot of information out there on whether twin flames exist, on how to recognize your twin flame, and how to spot a false twin. So always rely on your own internal guidance in these situations. I'm going to be relaying my own personal experience with a powerful connection and how the past has affected my own healing and ascension journey in this lifetime. We are calling in Yeshua and Mary Magdalene to assist in clearing any powerful dynamic masculine and feminine energies which are affecting us in this lifetime. O amana e mihana, almia ikana vahat mikana, imakaona maniha. Amiana mana amiana amiana heko alamalikano imana kayo kanmanekano imalaya lamihano imalaya no alamiano. So the dynamic in the past life for me was in association with a powerful kingdom. The karmic masculine was a king, and I was a high priestess in service to him. I fell in love with this king. However, he was in love with my spiritual power rather than with me personally. He abused my power and the power he held over those in his kingdom and kept me through enchantment spells and love spells. When I finally awakened and realized the abuse of power, I decided to leave him and I ran to a distant land. So, did I ever really love him, or were these spells just holding power over my emotions? So let's go ahead and clear any enchantment spells and love spells you may be experiencing in this lifetime. O aniyama, O aniyama, Eomo aya. Eo vedo, I am io, alaiano, I am Eova, I am anae. Yaseota Eosae. So in the previous lifetime, I was forced to hide my spiritual gifts from the world as I was fearful that he would find me and capture me once again. So hiding my spiritual gifts from those who would abuse them is a pattern which has repeated itself in this lifetime. Eventually, I fell in love with a man in that other life who did not hold the king's riches, but was a beautiful and loving soul. And to protect us both, I did not reveal my true identity to this man. I worked quietly as a healer where we lived, but eventually word got out about my healing gifts, and the king who had been searching for me finally found me again. So let's go ahead and clear any energy around the fear of being seen for who you truly are. I lie on my I am Leovai Yanaeoae Yamaneovaeo Alameio Naeo Anamaneo Eo la la eo Eno ai mai ho anmia ho Aleamaneo. Let's also do some clearing around being your true authentic self with others. Opanchamata ekanahe atamanika vaekanahe aliyamanae Alami ho na yanami hae. Ani ase te tamika. Wale yamana he anami hae. Yamo vate anae mi. So instead of sending his soldiers to capture me, the king came directly to my location and violently ended the life of my lover as I watched helplessly. So his kingdom was falling due to me no longer holding the energetic space for him and removing my spiritual gifts from his service. His intention was to force me to return to the kingdom with him and back into service. So let's clear the energy of helplessness and not being able to protect those that you love. Ati kamala ekanika. Ati kamala ekanika ho. Anamio na anamia. Emia kanaka ekeniho. Alvia naionamia, enialaionamia, eo kalamia, imalakanavahania, emionamania. And let's also clear any form of captivity by another. No one has the right to hold your energy or control or manipulate it. So let's go ahead and clear that. Hachiman he han he ya. He ya chimakan he ya hiana he ma. Yavani ya hane ya ne he ya mani yo ha. Aniasi amania le anami toha. Yamanavayo na anamania. So when I did return to the castle, but before he could enchant me again, I used my gifts to curse him and his kingdom for the harm he had done to so many, including myself and my lover. As I could find no escape from him, I ended up overdosing on arsenic and I died within the castle walls as I had no desire to harm his people or be a part of his deception and cruelty. So let's go ahead and clear the hopelessness due to the control from others. So anywhere where you feel like you're unable to break free and you have no other option, let's go ahead and clear that. Amahe ani aheso anamea iohe anamio la eana he mia he emia seana emia sene alamia te to na alamia te alamia vaio na alamia na he Yamanavayo ta halmani ho he. O mani o va, o mani aha. O ve amma o lami aha. E o va ta ta itamika ha. Halmi o tsayata halmi kana. E yamika le kohanamika ha. Okay, let's go ahead and clear the energy of poison in our energy fields. Poison can be an actual substance that has been abused or our body has rejected. It can also come from people projecting jealousy or our own jealousy of others. So we're going to work with the Druid guide Abendaba to clear this energy. Ache manika vate tanea. Eola ekana easia. And if you're able to see visually the energy of poison, anything toxic to our being, is actually like an olive green color. So if you see that, you want to work with the guides and angels to clear that. Echi mahate kanavaniya eo manavata halamiya eo mikana laheniya eo manava eate atama eo aniva mahate atena Yomalaheso aliyah eoniyamanahamaniya. You can also work with the clownfish. You can call upon the animal spirit of the clownfish. Clownfish are able to live inside the poisonous sea anemone, but are impervious to its stings. So this is a good animal spirit to work with when transmuting poison energy. So let's go ahead and call some clownfish in. Ichiyamalahi, Ichiyamalahi, Ianaha, Ianaha, Eamanavae. So in my current life, I came to build a spiritual theme park as a kingdom where love and healing could take place, along with entertainment and personal growth and spirituality for others. I was shown this kingdom, and at the time I was shown the visions and understood the mission, I was reintroduced to this king's energy. He came as an angelic being to me, loving and kind, but he attached my energy through sex magic and was present in my energy field for several months. I did not understand who he was in the past to me at this time, only that we had a soul contract to build this kingdom together to uplift and heal others who would come from around the world to experience this project. I never did connect with this man in the physical, and after a couple of months the connection was lost, but I believed that he would appear when it was appropriate. Around 20 years passed, but I held the belief that we would unite and create this dream together, and that we would both be transformed in the experience. However, during this time I had many men under false identities reach out to me and believed that this was the same man continuing to watch me from a distance. I attempted to teach him and give him time to heal, but he did not appear to be transforming his behavior, yet he was highly attracted to my energy. I was constantly disappointed by this, although I still felt a connection with him. One day, my spiritual guides told me he needed my assistance as his physical 3D self had not evolved beyond the past due to childhood wounding that he was unwilling to face. He had not done any of his shadow work, so I assisted with a major energy shift for him per his high self's and his guide's request. After I performed a clearing on his energy, I saw him in his angelic form once again, bow down in gratitude for the help, but I was shown later that there continued to be no advancement in the 3D with him. He was bound by pride and ego. So let's go ahead and clear the energy of pride and ego. Olehe amanehe amniyaho amniyavate avadikano. Ianavaino anahe amikano. Avatiko te akae kiniko. Avanika te kaniakano. Iamakai sotae elikano. Amniyavaito tmikana. Amniyavatae enikana. So let's go ahead and clear the fear from childhood wounding. Sometimes we're just too hurt to want to face those emotions and express them, or we feel unsafe to do so due to those around us or whatever the circumstance may be. So let's go ahead and clear that. Echikana haya, echikia ha, echikia no bata ekamikana, eamikana vaita kanika ha, eanikala ekana vanikana, echakana mahea mana, echmiana eovania ha, eamiala eohanamia ha, olavakana kaeka ikmakana. Eniya maya hanmiya ha, Oftentimes something will happen to us as a child that we don't understand, and we end up holding those emotions and stuffing them away. So as we become adults, we are often triggered by those around us because that wounding needs to be healed. And rather than facing the fact that that is our wound and not the issue of the other person, and we're just seeing our own reflection in that person, we will hide away or will lash out at people who didn't cause the wound in the first place. So let's go ahead and embrace our inner child. O mane avidi avidi avade. O ami alami euluvatame. O ami alave alami ho. Eoni asamo ayamalae. So you can do this practice of just recognizing when you're being triggered and stopping in that moment or soon after and calling forth that inner child that's wounded, and just see yourself embracing them. Have them express how they're feeling to you and let them know that it's all right to have those feelings, but it's time to let them go. And so you can start integrating that energy back into your field as healed and repaired. So as I began to ascend even more spiritually and activate more of my gifts, he sent me messages through songs, dream interference, visions, and thought projections. He began panicking as I stepped more fully into my power. I heard him say, "Don't leave me behind." I had a vision of myself stepping through a portal and looking back into the darkness behind me and asking him, "Are you coming?" He went deeper into his shadow self and began attempting to cast love spells over me and glamour spells over himself to pretend to be something he was not. I felt the pull on my heartstrings powerfully and wished for his reconnection, but he just was unwilling to do the work. He began showing himself to me and telling me his name and asking about the project, but as he was in his shadow and seeking me for the wrong reasons, he was not allowed to fully connect and find me. This began a powerful physical dynamic in my life where when he connected to me, I became violently ill with extreme vertigo and vomiting for a week and a half. At this point in time, I had not thrown up in 24 years. I wondered if he had a drug addiction that I was experiencing empathically. I realized as he was connecting with me that he had been spending years core dumping his lower energies into my field because we were connected and he knew I could transmute the energy. Unfortunately for me, I taught him everything that I knew in that other lifetime, and he chose to use it against me in this lifetime and others. I believe the guide said this was the 6th lifetime and the final attempt to get him to heal. So let's go ahead and clear connections of energetic core dumping and releasing that which is not ours to heal. Everybody is required to do their own healing work. We can activate them, we can comfort them, we can encourage them, but it's not our job to do their work for them. They have to do their own healing work. Let's go ahead and clear this core dumping energy. Obataka eka pa eka ma kaneka eka pa kaneka eka pa kaneka ta eka piana ka eka naka peana eka miava eka pan keanka eana keana komba eaka Eamakekana makana ekana makapa. Eoka paneka te akeama eoakatama eakeana. Okay, and then let's go ahead and establish some healthy boundaries. Emanaya, Eamane, Yamanea, Tea, Tea, Tania, Eamanaya, Teamane, Eamania, Laiania, Eamianea, Eamanae, Oanae, Keniae, Eamianae, Kanamiae. So when I ascended even more, he got desperate and began throwing everything he had at me through energetic attacks in the form of sickness spells, vehicle malfunction spells, income loss spells, sending dark entities to attack me, monitoring spirits in all forms, constantly tapping into my energy field to spy on me and block my progress. He even sent death spells and routine black magic spells during the moon phases. So let's go ahead and work with the Great White Brotherhood here for protection and rebuke all the black magic spells you may be experiencing in your life. Amania vania le alayo anavatie o alia te kania kanaeo alea le uelevarea divarea divareo. So he released all of his trauma and emotional distress into my energy field, and I felt like I was in a constant battle to protect myself. I would feel him connect to my energy, and I would suddenly feel deeply depressed or emotionally distraught when I was having a good day and nothing was going wrong around me. But I would be working and suddenly begin crying or would have bursts of anger as his energy overtook me. I began shielding and protecting my energy and disconnecting and blocking these attacks. It felt like I was navigating a minefield. I had to learn to block out the constant emotional interference and the repetitive songs he would send blaming me for wanting to be free of his control and manipulation of my energy. He broke my heart through all of these lies and games he was playing, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I wanted this to stop. Eventually, my spirit guides allowed him to come through into my dream state, and I saw him in a library sitting across a round table from me, and the only thing he said was, "But we had fun, didn't we?" This made me so angry, his carelessness with my heart, that I energetically placed my hand on his heart and activated his energy field powerfully to force him to do his shadow work and face what he had done to so many and was continuing to do to this day. I begged the divine to release me from our soul contract as he was not living up to his end of the deal and I was doing the work I had promised to do. As a justice angel, I commanded that he be stripped of his crown, his title, his throne, and anything that was meant for us to build this kingdom in this lifetime, as he was not honoring the contract. I destroyed the contract so a new partner who was in alignment could come forward to assist me. So let's go ahead and call in justice energy in any unfair situation you find yourself in at this time due to the behavior of others. Eminava eona emiana he. Alamiana eota hanamiana he. Emiakana eoanamiaka ne. Emiakana eka hanamiaka he. Let's go ahead and clear all soul contracts which need to be resolved and dissolved at this time. Ekama, ekama, ekamiahe. Ekama, ekama, ekamiahe. Womanika veto kamiya he, akamiya onai so kamiya ne. Ekamiya ota kamaniya he, ekmiko no vata ekanika he. Olemea ate to kameka ne, ichmaka otaveka atanika he. Olemika ne ahanamiya he, olemia tanae anikae. So it took some time to dissolve the soul contract, and all the while I was continuing to go through more spiritual ascensions, navigating all the traps set for me and healing my broken heart. Then I went through 3 weeks of being violently ill, where I would feel just fine and go out in public only to find myself suddenly vomiting uncontrollably for hours on end and trying to get back home safely when I barely had the energy to stand, let alone drive or walk. I realized my body was releasing the trauma from the arsenic poisoning and suicide in the past life. And once I found the source of the arsenic from too much consumption of a particular food in my diet, and I stopped consuming that, the vomiting stopped and my spirit guide showed me a vision of myself lying on the castle floor, my body curled in a fetal position and my skin very gray following my death. My guides had to pull me out of the vision and get me back into my body, and this really shook me to the core. As an empath, I've healed deep wounds in my psyche and processed many deaths, but never a suicide. It took a lot of work to free me from this connection. So let's go ahead and do some clearing around releasing long-held trauma in the body. Papadaya, papadaya, padakanaya, tae kavikahe. O Venika hate atana kanika he, O Venika maika iate, O Venika te okamana he, Ivakane ota kamia he, O Lemikana na he mia he, O Lemeana na mia ne, O Lemeata na mia he, Imakana na anika he. Olmakate kamanikae, almeonayonamiae. And let's also go ahead and release long-held emotional wounds. Opatamania badeo. Opadea naba, opadea no. Ipadafa ota mania ho. Ayala laio no laia nama ho. Iamala heo na halamia no. Iamana ho mania ho. So let's go ahead and work with the Archangel Gabriel. We're going to release any powerful mental attachments and close any mind traps. Ache avada avatia eliana yamanaya ha. Eamiana nayania. Eamiana nayania. Olivia leoanaya. Olivia leoalaya, Olivia nanama, Olivia nanamia, Womaniana yanayao, Olivia otamanikao. So as I understand it in this lifetime, this king will fall again and lose all he has gained by stealing the light of others. And the loving man whose life he ended will receive a king's fortune to invest in the build of a new kingdom filled with light and love. It is my hope that we will be able to heal these wounds together, a tragic end for someone who was meant to heal and grow. But even through all of the attacks and manipulation of my energy from this past connection, I have been blessed with extreme spiritual growth and many sacred gifts and insights to assist myself and others in their journey. This transformation resulted in yet another powerful upgrade to my spiritual wings and growth of a second pair of wings as I continue to evolve all of my spiritual avatar light bodies and connect them into the Earth's ascension at this time. It took several days to process out the growing pains from this expansion, and I found that not only my physical body, but many of the physical components of my computer as well as my vehicle and finances were affected by this shift as well. So let's go ahead and recalibrate your energy into your new lifetime with the Arcturians. The Arcturians are always happy to work with us with this recalibration process, and it's kind of essential if you're doing really intense healing, deep level trauma work, because your energy will be really muddied. It's kind of like walking into a river and kicking up the silt on the bottom. When you do this kind of work, it takes a couple of days for all of the silt to settle back down to the bottom of the riverbed so that you can see clearly again. So just expect this to be a process. You may cry, you may be angry, you may become depressed, you may be frustrated, you may find that you can't connect well with others, you may feel misunderstood. You're going to go through a slew of different emotions and possible physical shifts with your electronics or your vehicle or your appointments that you're trying to make, or you may just find that it's really difficult in a couple of days following a major energy shift to really ground and reconnect. So let's go ahead and do some breathing and grounding now. On the out breath, you just want to expel any lower vibrational frequencies into Mother Gaia. And you can see these going down through cordings like roots through the bottoms of your feet, deep into the core of Gaia. And on the in-breath, just bring up the purity of love and light, of source energy. Just take a moment to do this. Get yourself centered again. And as we prepare to call back all of the soul fragments of ourselves following this healing session, I would ask, if you're benefiting from my work, that you please like, share, comment, subscribe, and donate to support my channel. It truly does help me to get the word out there and get these energies out to as many people as possible. Okay, let's go ahead and work with the animal guides and fairies and send them out across all time, space, dimension, realities, and planes of existence to retrieve all of our soul fragments. We're going to bring them back into your own personal crystal cave. So just see yourself sitting inside of a crystal cave. Crystals are all around you, above you, and they're bringing all these fragments back from these wounds that you just processed, and they're bringing them into the crystal cave. And when they're done with this, you're going to purge all of these crystals in angelic fire. And if you don't immediately feel a particular color of fire that you would like to purge with, just ask your angels to bring in whatever colors are most appropriate. It may be more than one. And you're just going to purge all those crystals. And as those are purged, and this may take some time, you're going to go ahead and set the intention that you're going to grab the cleared crystals, and you're going to see yourself pulling them down through your crown, all the way down through your lower chakras, and grounding them into the 5D crystalline grid of Gaia. So let's go ahead and call in Metatron's cube for protection. It's going to come from above you. You're going to pull it down, and you're going to ask Metatron to bring in the golden energy of the great central sun. And then you're going to ask that the cube come up from the bottom as well to envelop you. And you're going to pull on the crystalline core of Gaia. See it as a white flame enveloping the lower part. Bring these two energies together at your heart and lock in this grid of protection for yourself, and ask that this healing work continue until it is completed. And then wrap yourself in the Archangel Michael's cobalt blue cloak for protection. So I just wanted to add on to this session because 2 days after I recorded the twin flame and false twin session here, I was looking at getting my car upgraded, but then at the last minute I decided to call and see how much repairs would be, and I went ahead and scheduled the appointment and the diagnosis for the repairs. But since it was like Friday and they're closed on the weekend, they offered me a vehicle to drive in the meantime while they had my vehicle. And I did like the physical inspection where I walked around the car and made sure everything looked good before I took it. And I didn't even notice the vanity plate on this vehicle until my adult daughter and I were at a store, and we were walking into the store away from the car, and I happened to glance at the license plate and it said TWN44. So it actually had the twin 44 on it, which I thought was really interesting. So I just wanted to add that information into this session for you as a confirmation. I'm also thinking about offering my healing services, especially to those who are helping others to heal on the planet and do their ascension work. So if you would be interested, I'm going to try and set that up maybe within the next week, and I'll add the link to the website on all of my videos, but it would be $77 per session, and you would receive the recorded session as soon as I'm able to get it done. It's really important that if you do decide to work with me, that you make sure that you are the one that is requesting the healing session for yourself. Please don't request healing sessions for other people who are unaware. Even if you think you know what's best for them, you don't know what God's plan is for them, and it's considered a violation of spiritual law to be invading in someone else's energy field without their soul's permission. And my guides will most likely stop it anyways and not allow me to see what is going on for them if they're not the one that's requesting the session for themselves. And you can certainly purchase a session for someone. Just make sure that they get in touch with me through my website with any concerns that they have for their own life. I don't do anything of low integrity or, spying on other people's energy or trying to manipulate them. So make sure that you're coming with light, love, integrity, and the best intentions for all if you do choose to reach out. So that link will be uploaded within the next week or so. So go ahead and keep an eye out for that. It will be on a first come, first served basis, depending on, how much time I have to devote to that. I'm going to leave this healing session here. I hope that my own journey will be a beacon of light to others who are doing this powerful shadow work to heal all aspects of the self and come back home to the divine. Many blessings.